Hi everyone, this is Jude. Welcome back to my channel. And I'm so excited to welcome back Rhiannon today. Rhiannon from my little domestic church and Botanical Rhianon. Hi Rhiannon.
Hi, how are you? It's so nice to see you.
Oh, I'm great. I'm so great. And I've been looking so forward to this time to talk with you because you have been going through an amazing health and wellness journey. And we have been watching you every step of the way. So we're very excited. But for those people out there that may not be familiar with you, can you just tell them a little bit about yourself?
Sure, thank you. And I really appreciate the platform here and giving other Catholics a platform to share their story. I think it's just really wonderful. So I wanted to make sure to say that. So thank you for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome.
So yeah, I am a Catholic woman and I am a wife to an incredible man. He's just an incredible human being. And then I have 6 children and I homeschool through elementary, and then they go to the local Catholic school. I'm starting in middle school. And yeah, so and I have been on a health journey, and I started my platform with my little domestic church so I could just help, mamas in that place of wanting to walk in their vocation and make it as real as possible, because I'm literally pick a camera up and go, and like no makeup on, just share. And then I started a Botanical Rhianon, which was for my health and wellness journey. And so that, and then I started a little business in my home for like superfoods, and that's just I'm trying to think of anything else, but that's just basically me.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I think that's what comes through for those of us that have been watching you going through this journey, because we can see your dedication and your motivation, which for any of us who have started an exercise or diet program, we know that there has to be that motivation there, because then it lends itself to the changes that you would have to do in order to make these lifestyle and health improvements. And that's what it's all about, is improving your health, your being, your whole being. So with that in mind, Rhiannon, what was the catalyst for you to make this lifestyle change?
Great. Well, at the very beginning, it was just kind of pretty superficial. But over time, like, okay, so I have 6 children, and the first 4, I I would lose all the weight. My dad, he was like a chiropractor and nutritionist, and he would help me along the way just to get healthy, because it was really hard to do a lot of things after I had a baby. I had a thyroid condition for I was on thyroid medication for 11 years, and so I would gain a lot of weight in my pregnancies. And by the way, I am off of thyroid medication, which is like miraculous in and of itself, because I was told over and over again by different doctors it would never happen. And so that's amazing. Just want to claim that for Jesus.
Oh,
Yeah.
congratulations and amen to that. You're right.
So he helped with nutrition and stuff after I had a baby. And during my 5th pregnancy, my father died in a horrible accident. He was very healthy and we were not expecting it. I was 1 month pregnant on the date like that. We found out. It was just really sad. But anyway, thank you. After I had our baby boy, I had gained so much weight in that pregnancy. I was so depressed, not because of my baby, but because I lost my father. We went through a lot of stuff local, like in our local community. It was really challenging. We had to move. We had to sell our house. It was just so much. It was really hard. So when I went in to have him, I was at 265 pounds, which for me was a lot of weight. And I don't mean to throw numbers out there to shame anybody. It's not about that. It's just to share my journey. But and then I got pregnant with my 6th baby. I'd worked really hard, but I was like 210, and then I got pregnant with my 6th baby, and I gained so much weight again. And so when I was all done, you lose that little bit of baby weight after you have a baby. I was about 240 pounds, and my mental health was was just so bad. It was so bad. I was tired. I know this isn't just the catalyst. I just kind of wanted to give a little bit of a background, if that's okay.
Yes.
Kind of was. And it was a really low point in my life. And it was heartbreaking because I had longed for like a big family. I was a Catholic convert. I learned about all these beautiful things of human dignity and being open to life. And here I was with my husband who had had a huge conversion. He was working for the Catholic Church. I had 6 babies and 6 children. And I had this wonderful life that I dreamed of. And I was just depressed all the time. I was so filled with anxiety. And so it really started off with like, I've got to lose weight. But as I started to lose weight, I realized my mental health didn't get any better. And so it really became, okay, well, my mental health, I want that to get better. And then I just looked at my family and I said, I want to do better at my vocation. I mean, this is a gift and I feel like I'm just wasting it, you know? So that was kind of the catalyst for me, was just that kind of backstory. And then also just looking around and feeling like, you know, this is my dream and I'm miserable and I'm not doing it well. That's how I felt. So,
and
yeah.
I'm sure there's so many people watching this video that are feeling exactly what you had experienced. You know, that feeling of every day kind of, you know, just feeling low energy, and of course the depression, and you feel you're trying, but you can't get out of it. You can't see improvement. So, you know, that's why I'm so excited for you and your journey, because I know you're going to help so many other people, Rhiannon. It comes also from a place of being there. We can all learn how to, you know, motivate people and instruct people, but there's something that has to be said from somebody who has walked the walk, being one that has walked that walk, because you know the ups and the downs, you know, you've been there. What words of encouragement can you give our viewers when they face those same obstacles in their progress?
Yeah, so many ups and downs. So I remember it took me 2.5 years to lose. I'm at 71 pounds lost, and it took a long time. And I felt like everything under the sun. I tried all these different programs and all these different things, and I just felt like it made it worse. Like I would lose weight, but I was so stressed, or I remember the biggest one for me was when my daughter, who was like 10 at the time, wanted to walk across the street of our very like lonely neighborhood. Like no one ever came through. And I was just terrified that this like van would come up and snatch her and kidnap her. Like she couldn't even. And I remember thinking something is really wrong. Like, you know, why am I thinking this way? I have a small town and like nothing ever happens here kind of thing. But so the ups and downs for me, it was really hard because I would make progress like with weight, but I was still like a mess. So I think the biggest thing is like, I'm trying to think of, you know, how to say it for someone who is in that place, about consistency and having I know it's so used, the why, you know, but having your why, like why you want to do this. And at first it was, oh, I want to fit in this size. And then as I kept progressing and I was not okay, I felt like mentally or like emotionally, I was like, I want to be able to like go walking with my kids and like kind of be playful with them and not be exhausted or not be terrified of something that's not scary, you know. I would say like having your why, you know, whether that's like your family or whether that's something deep, a deep why. Also having consistency, because we do tend to quit quickly. We want instant, you know, and it's just when you want overall health and wellness, it's just not instant. You know, there's so much going on in the gut, in the system, like in all the different systems in your body. So being consistent. And if you could picture yourself in 6 months, that's like a big one. That really helped me. In 6 months from now, like if you would look back at your former self and say like, thank you for trying. Thank you for doing this for me, you know, or for me, I was like, you know, in my late 30s. And so I went ahead into my 40s and be that much healthier. You know, I could look back and say, thank you. So those are kind of like the things I guess I would say for ups and downs, is having a why, a good one, like a deep one, being consistent, unless the thing you're doing is literally like harming you. Like if it doesn't work, or like, like try to find, and I can get to that later about healthier options, but being consistent with something that's good and healthy. And then thinking of your future self, looking back and being so thankful for what you're doing every day when you can't tell the differences, when the scale's not moving, when ... So.
And you know what, you really research, which I think is important for anyone that's viewing out there. Do your homework, really research, these different avenues. Look into the companies, and that's really why you now have a different mission. Can you tell us a little bit about the company that really was part and parcel of your transformation, this ultimate lifestyle transformation, and why this specific program is something that you just want to share with everyone?
Yeah, I just emotional because this is to help me make that last effort to get off thyroid medication. And I did a lot of research. So just to kind of back up, I had done different diets and different things. And then I got to a place where nothing was really working, and my gallbladder I was in pain. I was trying to be gross, but I was throwing up, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I thought I was doing all the right things. I had tried lots of different things, and my doctors just kept telling me, "You're fine. Everything's fine. My thyroid levels will be fine." I was just a mess. I got an ultrasound done on my side. "No, you don't have any stones." I lost my cycle for 7 months, and they were like, "Oh, it's normal." And we do naprotechnology. We do the Creighton method. I know my cycle. I asked them to do a full panel of hormones, and all they did was a pregnancy test. Like they thought I was just it was really challenging. So I felt like I had to kind of go at it alone almost, because I didn't know what else to do. So I started with a 100-day plant-based journey. I hope it's okay that I'm going to backtrack a little bit to explain how I found myself here. But
of course.
I did a 100-day plant-based journey. Whole foods. I got off of gluten, sugar, dairy, coffee, meat, and dairy. And I did whole plant-based for 100 days, because I used to be a jump in kind of a person, like, "Oh, I'm just going to jump in and just like go." Cause I eventually went raw vegan. But my husband has taught me how to be more balanced and diligent about things. So I always go to him when I want to do something. I ask him to help me like break it down, because it's not my strong suit. And I honor him as my head of the home. And so, he helped me with that process. But I went 100 days. He didn't help me with this, but he's helped me over the years with like breaking things down. So I did 100 days plant-based journey, whole foods. And then I went to a place and I was praying through this and processing through it. And then I made a switch to raw vegan, not necessarily to be a full lifetime thing forever, but I needed to heal my gut, because part of the research was, if you want your thyroid to heal, your gut needs to be healthy and it needs to be healed. And I just would go to, well, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I would go to the Bible and I would research about, different things. And I can talk about that later. So I just kept going towards like closer and closer and closer towards the cleanest food, the healthiest food, the things I could get. And I was eating raw vegan, and which is fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. And I was trying to do the best I could to make sure that I was, eating healthy and getting all the things I needed to, the nutrients. And I was looking up different companies to help me find something that would work. And the top one that I found that was the cleanest and the purest was the superfoods company I'm working with now. I didn't start working. I just wanted to do something. And I was so happy to find it, because it did everything. It was all about gut health, all about gut health. And they check it for glyphosate, and glyphosate is like Roundup, it's just in everything. And a lot of things say organic, but they're not tested for glyphosate. And this is tested like 7 times over for glyphosate, for heavy metals. So I knew that what I was going to be putting into, my whole system was going to be very nutrient dense. And it was also going to get the glyphosate out of my body that was already there, which they find in like 100% of umbilical cords. I mean, I don't like fear stuff, but it was helpful to me.
Well, I think everybody should be aware of that. Following you, that's when I became aware of that fact of the pesticides, because they're just used so much in our food, and we're consuming it, and it's staying within our body. It's not being, eliminated out. And, that has such toxic effect. Unbelievable. So
Yeah, it really does. I can share the part now about the Bible and what I had read. I had done studies, and I was reading in the Garden of Eden and how they ate basically raw vegan. And then after the fall, when, especially in the time of Noah, and now I am not against, and I'll get into that I'll get into it in a minute. So I don't think everybody should do this, but I'm just sharing my process. Around the time of Noah, they're basically given the ability to eat whatever, anything. But also around that time is when the lifespan is basically 120 years. So there's a correlation between lifespan and food and stuff. And I was thinking about that, and I said, well, I do know though that when Jesus came, it's lawful now to eat. But then I thought, it came to my mind about St. Paul, and just because something is lawful does not mean it's beneficial. And I know he was talking about different things, but I thought about that, and I said, okay, although I'm allowed to have all these things, are these things helping me to get my gut healthy? Are they helping me in my vocation? Because I was just like addicted to the idea that I had to make homemade bread for my kids. I had to make all these things to be a good homemaker and a good wife, and so when I kept on that journey, I realized that this was part of my healing journey from the Lord, like to process through to get healthy. And then when I added in, I had been slowly cutting back on my thyroid medication a little bit, but it was very slow process. But when I added in the superfoods and the whole ultimate lifestyle transformation, oh my goodness, it was like a whole nother thing. And then I was able to get off of it completely. Praise Jesus. I just want to keep praising him, because I just felt like it was never going to happen.
But it is a miracle, Rhiannon. It really is, because most of us have had times in our life when we're told, oh, just keep taking this medication. You need it. Your body needs it. And this may be something that you're going to be on for the rest of your life, without really looking to see what is the source of what's happening to you in your body that is causing this. And, you finding, you were very disciplined to even start this and go, and I really encourage everyone out there to go back to your Instagram pages and and your YouTube channel to see your journey. Look through those videos, because you'll find them, very real, like Rhiannon is. She's very real. But you'll be able to relate. You'll be able to relate. And I think you have such a gift. But no, just continue, Rhiannon. I just feel that, your testimony is going to transform others too.
Thank you. Said that I did want that some was their car. They were like, that was good. That was a little comic relief. Yeah.
Now, in this process of going through this transformation, what, if any, hidden strengths, and I know you found a lot about yourself, because you have to dig deep to just go through this process of research, finding out for yourself, I don't feel good. There's got to be an answer out there. So what have you found out about yourself through all of this?
Yeah, I realized after I made the switch from whole food, plant-based to raw vegan, I went through this very it was almost like a religious, spiritual experience where I felt like I was connecting with God for the first time in a way that I had never connected with him. I mean, it's really hard to explain, but it was like I was just with him and he was with me. It's so hard to explain. I remember going to mass after I had gone through that experience and looking at the crucifix. I was walking up to receive. I received him. And inside of myself, I said, oh, you who I'm connecting with, this is who I'm receiving. Like, it was like I really got it. And those words just probably don't even translate to the experience, but it was just, it's so overwhelming. And I've talked to other people that have gone raw vegan, and they've had similar experiences of just, you feel so connected, and it makes you kind of recognize why in the beginning when he said to eat this way, because the way you connect with him, it's just, anyway. But I remember sitting and looking up at the crucifix and thinking how I wanted so much for other women. I cannot remember your question, but I'll just finish what I was going to say. Sorry. I wanted other mothers to be able to experience this. And the beautiful thing is, when I was doing, the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation, not to keep going back to that, but it did help with that process. So even if someone's not raw vegan, it helped with that process for me too. But I remember looking up at the crucifix and thinking, like, I want other women to experience this feeling. And I was reading a book by, I think it's Ave Maria Press. I hope that's right. And it's Set the World on Fire. And it's about the four doctors, the four female doctors of the Catholic Church. And oh, it's so good. I started videos on it, but life gets so busy, it's hard for me to do videos. And it really talks about your purpose and what God's calling you to as a woman of God. And you go through this retreat with like each of the doctors of the church. And so right around that time, I was reading this book, and it was so moving. And I was like, I have got to help other women like be able to experience this. It's just not right for us we're given all these beautiful gifts, family, and to run a home, and to, and then not to be able to feel this joy. Mm-hmm. I was so fear-based. Everything I was deciding was based on fear, even my love of the Lord. And I'm not talking about fear of the Lord, like of wisdom. I'm talking about, I'm scared of everything. So I went off on that little side tangent, sorry, but I realized in those moments that, and I made a declaration, like out loud. And I was like, from this day forth, I will not make any decision based on fear. I will not. Like, yeah, I might be something, but I will still make my decisions based on the word of God, by church teaching. I will not lay Satan. Not today, Satan. Never.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I remember that moment. I had that. And then the second thing I realized about myself was being a delegator. I always said I was never good at delegating, ever. And as a mother, it made it really challenging to not be able to delegate things to my kids. I was doing like everything around the house. I was like scared that if I didn't, that my children wouldn't grow up with a beautiful homemaking memory of their mother. And all I found through this process was my children have become more joyful with me as their mother. The more that I get healthy, the more I hand them jobs to, give them, help them to become more assertive, help them to become kids that go, wait a minute, I can do this myself. Fear,
it's
that's
a
not
gift.
mine.
It's a real gift that you're giving them, exactly their own sense of accomplishment, their confidence. It's and like you said, just that transformation that you're really there. Because one of the things that you had mentioned in your journey is your clarity of thinking, because a lot of what you're describing, especially with your hormonal level, that brain fog, and if those that have gone through this will testify to that. So that clarity, that seeing things, and this is what makes your journey so exciting, because I think it's giving people out there hope. And you're such an inspiration. You really have such a gift. And this is just the beginning for you. This is just the beginning. And I see so many people whose lives are going to be transformed because you stepped out beyond the fear and you let God really lead you to where you are today in this journey. So, Rhiannon, if our viewers out there are interested to know more about your journey and about the wonderful company that you are affiliated with, and you would like to share that information with them, what would be the best way that they could connect with you?
Okay, well, I have two platforms. Catholic Church, Facebook, associated with them, and have Botanical Rhianon. I also I have an Instagram and Facebook with that. And then for specifically for the superfoods company, I decided I just had to I did a ton of research, and I decided to join and do this with them because I was so moved. I was so moved by what they were doing and what it did for me. And so I have, what I like about it is they give people a coupon code, so it's a sharing process, and I love that. And mine is Botanical Rhianon, and it gives discounts and stuff, which it was nice for us because it made it affordable for a family of 8. I just worked it into our food budget because it's all organic whole food. But so that's how people can reach me, is on those 2 platforms. And
I don't know, did we mention the name of the program, the company name of the program? I don't know if we did.
It's Purium. It means pure and premium together, because that's their, and the founder is just amazing. He's very pro-life. He's like, the world needs babies. We need babies. We need healthy, well, not just healthy babies. We need all babies, but we need to give them a good chance to live in a healthy world. And his goal is to end human suffering. I know as Catholics, we know that suffering is part of this world, of course, but I thought it was really beautiful to join a mission where you basically want to help people and you want to do your best with food and with, helping them in that way. And so it's so funny that I never said it, but it's called Purium, and in love with it. And I say, if you ever do research on anything, do really good research for yourself. Don't just, and whenever I get on something and people are super, super negative about anything, I take a step back, I pray about it, and I look for people who are as genuine as possible. And I do my own research, because that was real challenging for me. There was so much confusion. I forgot to say that. I want to wrap this up, but I know we have to go. But like when I first started my journey, wrong and everyone was right. Like I didn't know what to do. And so it's just about kind of like finding out what works for your body. And in the end, it's always going to be about gut health, especially for us mamas. We go through a lot having babies. Praise Jesus. Praise Jesus for that we get to, be a tabernacle for him. And, but even if you haven't had a baby physically, it's still, we go through a lot as women, and it's important that we take good care of ourselves, and we tend to put ourselves last. And I did that for a long time. And I thought it was very, giving of myself, but I had so little to give those around me. The more that there was like nothing left, I felt, not because I gave, but because I was so healthy. So now, oh my goodness, I can do so much with my kids. My husband, my relationship is 1,000 times better. I honor him so much better now than I ever did before. I thought I did it before well, but it's so much better now because I can empathize with him more. It's not all about, oh, woe is me and all the stuff I do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, just there's so much goodness. Off again, but it's just it's so much
fun. We can see that it really comes through when anybody listens to you. And like I said, I'm so excited to see where this is going to go, because I know that, like you mentioned, God has put you all the pieces of the puzzle together to where we're at today. And this has been my pleasure, my honor to have you here. And let's all continue to be supportive and continue on this journey. And those, again, that would really like to experience this, because it's not just a diet. It's really a transformation for the rest of your life. This is you have to think of it in a new way, because as you mentioned, other programs that you stopped and you started, but it's when you really feel for yourself and experience the energy and just the way that you feel so much more alive to be present to your family, your husband, your all that are around you. Then we can go out and spread that good news and do the work that we're meant to do here on this earth.
Oh my gosh. That's so true. We're called to do.
We're called to do.
How are we going to spread? if I'm stuck on a couch, terrified to do anything. Like, yeah, I can do a YouTube video, but come on, like, how are we going to do that?
Mhm.
Us. He needs us. And like the catechism said, health is a gift and it should be treated as such, you know? It is. I shouldn't have said anything though, because that was so good.
Thank you so much, Rhiannon. You have really graced us with your presence here today. So you take care, and we'll be watching your journey and going with you step by step. And we just feel transformed just listening to you today. So God bless, and thank you so much.
Blessings to you as